You see, it starts with a notion. Now, a notion can be a problem, it can be some kind of a theory, a discovery, even an accident. Regardless of what it is, ultimately, it's going to lead us to a question. The question is, what if? Now, what ifs are all around us. They're everywhere. But a lot of times we miss the what ifs if we're not asking the right questions. Sometimes a what if will jump right out at us, and it will look like a solution. Now, if the solution seems workable, it can lead us directly to the next question, which is, why not? Now, this is where we lose a lot of people. You see, because when you're asking yourself, what if, that just means you're thinking. When you start asking yourself, why not, that means you're probably going to do something. Thomas Edison said, genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Granted, he said that in the days before air conditioning. But the point is this, without people who are willing to sweat a little bit, without people who are willing to do the work involved, other people couldn't turn these successful why nots into brand new what ifs. You see, it's a cycle. It goes around and around like this forever. But if we're going to talk about it, we've got to start somewhere. So, let's start with needs. We all have them, and they usually cover a pretty wide range. There are the needs that we have because we got to have things to stay alive. Food, air, water, basics, right? Then, on the other end of the spectrum, we have things that we need because we would really like to have them. Most of our other needs fall somewhere in between those two. Now, if we need something, or if we think we need something, we're either going to fill that need ourselves, or we're going to find somebody else who can fill that need for us. A friend in need is a friend indeed, but could also be money in the bank. Because it's these needs of ours that lead to new products. All kinds of new products out there, developed by people to meet the needs of people. Obviously, not all new products are successful. Sometimes they're too big. Sometimes they're too ugly. Sometimes they cost too much. Sometimes they're obsolete before they ever hit the market. And sometimes they just don't work. If a product is developed by someone who never really understood the need in the first place, what happens to it? It dies. That's what happens to it. Do we really need so many ways to skin a cat? Maybe what we need is something to do with all these cat skins. I don't know. But other products are successful. Other new products do succeed. Why? Because they meet customer needs. Because they exceed customer expectations. And these are the products that really catch on, that really take off. Everybody wants to buy it. Everybody wants to imitate them. They become symbols of the way we live, part of our culture. But I told you, it's a cycle, and it never ends. Because these new products, these innovations, all of a sudden are bringing us opportunities we never even imagined. Suddenly, we're free to move in new directions, to dream in new dimensions. And that's the next step in the cycle. If God didn't want man to fly, he never would have let this cycle thing get started. This is just human nature. You can't stop people from trying to better themselves. And if we're going to reach for the stars, we've got to have the tools to help us get there. So where are we? Right back where we started, with a whole new set of needs. See, it's a cycle, just like I told you. While you're thinking about that, let me make another point. This cycle is the circulatory system of America. Innovation, ingenuity, enthusiasm for discovery. That's the lifeblood that flows through our history, raising every generation to a new level of accomplishment. You can't stand still. You can't rely on your past. Just because you're big doesn't guarantee your future. You can't sit there and be satisfied unless you're building on what you already have. Think about it. In medicine, communication, the arts, athletics, recreation, transportation, commerce, industry, you name it. The cycle goes on forever. It is as eternal as humanity itself. The Wright brothers never flew to the moon. Alexander Graham Bell never drove down the information superhighway. But what they did was they developed solutions that presented us with new opportunities. And that's how the cycle works. Are you keeping up with this? You better be keeping up with this, because right now there are people out there with solutions to the needs of today. But while you're sitting here, there are other people out there developing solutions to the needs they think will arise from the opportunities created by the current solution. So whatever you've got, whatever you're doing, you better be thinking about ways to do it better. Because if there's one thing that people cherish, it's freedom. And that includes freedom to choose. That's what people want. That's what they're going to get, because it's a cycle, you see, and it never ends. Now, what are you going to do?